isn't my normal type of video, but you know, sometimes I feel like there's fire inside of me, right? I need to talk about things, right? So you know, let's get all the secrets out the way. Go ahead, look at the channel for me, look at the previous videos, make fun of me. All right, now that we've got that out the way, let's talk about pedophiles. Like I said, this isn't something that I would normally post on this channel. A long time ago, I used to have a YouTube channel where I talked about like drama. That was not fun at all. Actually, it was terrible. You know, and it was one of the easiest ways that I've experimented with growing a channel on YouTube. One of the easiest ways. I would just report on everything that was happening and say the obvious. Bad people are bad, good people are good. But you know, when you have biased opinions, you're always gonna get negativity coming from those biased opinions because everybody's opinion is different. And that's what I didn't like about that channel, right? Which is why I completely stopped uploading on that channel. And I was gonna originally just change it to me doing like food reviews and things like that, and like game reviews and top 10s and like goofy, more lighthearted things, to where people wouldn't really be getting mad at it, you know. So that's what's gonna happen with that channel. Now that I've gotten that out the way, pedophiles. What is a pedophile? Well, the common term, well, a term that's simplified that everyone knows, is a pedophile is an adult, someone over the age of 18. Normally they're a lot older, like around 60 to 80, not 60 to 70, bitch. Normally around that age. And these people, honestly, from the looks of it, are often quite wealthy, meaning they've already got many of the things that they've wanted in life. So in a desperate act of fulfilling an empty hole that they have in their life, because they got everything handed to them, they got everything they've ever wanted, they decide to prey on kids, children, babies, even in some sick cases. And I felt the need to really just rant about this because it's disgusting, and I want to spread awareness on what's going on in society as I'm speaking. So I'm gonna be playing some basic Minecraft while I talk about how I feel. For starters, like I said, a pedophile in the simple terms is an adult that preys on children, underage individuals. They have sexual fantasies. Sometimes they traffic these children and do sick and disgusting things to these children, you know, and even though consent is a thing, it's never good. It's never good for people that old to be going for people so much younger than them. It's just odd. It's an odd thing already, because why wouldn't you want to be with somebody romantically close to your age? There must be a deeper reasoning and meaning behind that, a sick one, a fantasy, if you will, that some of these individuals hold. You know, me growing up, thankfully, I was raised correctly, number one, and number two, my head is screwed on correctly, to the point where I don't feel any sort of way about children. Actually, I'm kind of scared of children. I don't like children at all. I hate children. Not, well, I wouldn't say hate, but babies and smaller kids and young teenagers, they're not at a part of their life where they're cognitively available. It's more of like, there's two different types of men on this planet. There's people who see these younger children as things like full of potential. They can grow up and become extremely smart and intelligent and do great things. And then there's other people who see these children as easy targets because of their lack of understanding on how society works, because they're so easily manipulated. And like I've said, that's one of the reasons why a lot of these richer individuals, because they've already, you know, trafficked, they've already had many of the things that they've wanted in life, they prey after children because what's left, right? And not only that, they're just sick and twisted in the head. But, you know, that's the only like valid reason as to why somebody with high wealth and stature would go after somebody who is younger. Sometimes I make these videos where, you know, it gets kind of deep, and it helps me. It really helps me like chill out, because, you know, after all the gooner videos that I make trying to grow the channel, it takes a lot on me mentally. You You know, it took me a long time to get to this point where I was like, damn, that's the only thing I can really do. But hopefully a lot of people are interested in this video, because I know seeing this title is going to be like a punch in the face. Like, what in the hell is going on here? So furthermore, right? With what's going on in the world right now, people in power, not everywhere around the world, but, well, I'm not even going to lie. Yes, everywhere around the world. These people who are wealthy, old, and in power, they have, money is power. Money controls damn near everything. A lot of people say money can't buy happiness. That is true, but not entirely. You can spend money, but you can't buy new experience. You can spend money, but you can't experience for the first time what that money was spent on again. Right? You can spend money and it wouldn't, basically what I'm saying is you can spend money and it wouldn't fill that hole in your chest where you need something new. You need something different. That's where I'll say, yeah, money can't buy happiness in that way. But there are a lot of broke people out here, like myself, a lot of people out here that don't have financial means. They have great ideas and goals and aspirations that they want to work towards. They just need more money to do it. Now we need to go around killing farm animals for some time. And then, so we can go mining. Money is power, yeah, blah blah blah, right? We already have that understanding. But you know what money also does? Money controls. It's a controller. It's an invisible chain, an invisible shackle on the truth, on what goes and what doesn't, what's manipulated and what isn't. Money is like a it's like a fire extinguisher. Money, that's the best way to put it. Money is a big fire extinguisher. If anything bad happens to you in your life, right? Money. If you're starving, money. If you do something you're not supposed to do and everyone starts calling you out for it, guess what fixes that over time? Money. And it may not fix your image and reputation, but it definitely will save you from getting spread open like you spread open these little kids in jail, right? Why is it that these governments have so much power and that the people aren't standing up and doing anything about it? The government runs on the people. It's like a school in a sense. A school cannot function if the students don't show the fuck up. A school can't function if the students don't show up. You know, I remember one time, right? No, I got a detention for the dumbest thing, right? I got a detention for wearing my hoodie in class. I was extremely upset. This is the, I think, maybe second detention I had ever gotten in my entire life, because I was a very good kid. Not only was I a very good kid, I was afraid of getting my ass beat when I got back home. And when I got this detention, I was so upset that on the detention paper where it says, "Did you learn from your mistake?" I filled up that entire paper with how the rule about having a hoodie is so fucking stupid. And then I asked for another one and I filled the front and the back of both of them bitches. And I said to the principal and the vice principal, I said, there is no goddamn reason why me as a student has to keep a hoodie off. If your only argument is because if you have a hoodie on, you are more distracted. Because that was the only argument. That's all they could say. The hoodie was distracting. The hoodie was informal, even though we didn't have a dress code. I don't even 100% remember why. Maybe because teachers just wanted to see if students were paying attention in class and hoodies made it harder. But here's what I said. I said, listen, guys, if a student wants to fucking learn, if a student wants to learn, they're gonna learn. They're going to be active in that class. They're going to go for 110%. The issue with schooling nowadays is a lot of these children out here, a lot of these students, a lot of these young and aspired people who are eager to share their creativity with the world. A lot of these students, they don't care about a lot of the things that these teachers are talking about. They know they have a fixed goal. They know that they're gonna grow up in life. They know that one day they're gonna have to be a mother and a father. They know that one day they're gonna have to figure out what it is that they want to do and focus on that profession. There's enough people on planet Earth for everyone to focus on one thing. So, I mean, sure, it's good to have common knowledge. It's good to know about history, but you can't expect a student to get all A's in that class, and you can't, sit here and say, oh, because a student did bad in history or a student did bad in math, they're just unintelligent. They're not listening. They're bad. They're acting up in class. That's completely incorrect. So I told them, if a student wants to learn, a hoodie is not going to change that. I mean, especially because in the dress code, you can have beanies. Shit, you can have headphones on and you can listen to music. So why exactly is a hoodie not allowed? Is it because of the way it makes a student look? Is it because of this, that, and the third? And so I said to them, no, that doesn't make any sense. If a student truly wants to learn and is eager to learn about a certain subject and the topic, they will be able to excel in that class without a hoodie being the dictating factor. Without a hoodie being the scale that the weights need to be balanced on. That's not what's going on here. And I said a lot more than that. And guess what, bro? Nobody in that damn school had gotten a detention for having a hoodie on after that. Thankfully, my principals and the people who were, working in the office, they were intelligent enough to know that one of their students was sitting here expressing how goddamn dumb that rule was. In that one of the main reasons a lot of these students aren't learning in class is because, one, the teacher doesn't make it interesting. When the hell? Oh, and two, the student just isn't interested in that topic. And that's why schooling and grades, they kind of need to change. They do need to change because everyone's IQ and intelligence, you can't say you're the smartest person on planet Earth. It's goddamn impossible. You can't say you're smart at all. Because you may be smart when it comes to a random thing, wood crafting, right? Making wooden sculptures. Oh Lord, leave me alone. I think I've killed enough. I think I got enough food. What was I saying? You might be smart when it comes to like wooden sculptures, but you might have no idea how to work a telescope. You may be smart when it comes to building frames of houses, but you have no clue how to eat with chopsticks. Silly, stupid, random things like that. Everybody has their different level of intelligence. Everybody is better at something, but you can't just say overall, set in stone, you're just smarter than somebody. That's why IQ tests aren't good. That's why math and grades aren't good. It does not determine, because many people who have failed school, who have dropped out, who have been unsuccessful, these people or have been unsuccessful in school. These people have turned out, they've turned out fine. And it's the fact that these old heads think that school is what dictates the person's overall intelligence. That's completely, it's just incorrect. It's an embarrassment to think that shallow. Because intelligence it's a lot deeper than that. Okay, I kind of went off topic a little more, but basically, back to pedophilia. We're talking about them because of the Epstein drama, of course. It's obvious. Epstein and the list and all of these rich people going to Epstein's island and doing all sorts of evil, wicked, sick shit to children. That's what we were talking about in this video. And I just felt the need to get my emotions out because, this is the only outlet that I currently have until I hit 100K. Please subscribe. Where I can talk about these things. Why is the government allowed to do that? I feel like, as society, the government, the people who work in those offices, they shouldn't be able to pass a law. They should be the ones to come up with laws, right? Which they do, but then have voting for each and every law. And if the people in every state come together and vote for something that they want and something that they don't want, that determines if the law gets passed or not. Like, for example, if ice cream trucks should have the ability to fly within the next 5 years. Somebody comes up with that. It goes through all the bill gets passed and all that. But then there's a final vote from the people. And that's what determines if something truly gets passed. Not the fucking the prehistoric creature that just puts the stamp on it and says, hey, these are the rules now. Hell no. It should be the people say. It's like everyone coming together to vote, and I don't like politics very much, but everyone coming together to vote for a president. A red versus blue mentality, which I've said multiple times in videos before this. It's just stupid, right? And this is the only time I'm gonna use these terms, every Democrat and Republican, they have different views. There's no one person that shares the exact same opinion about things. They're all different. Therefore, every single person on planet Earth should be independent, and you can agree to disagree on certain topics and subjects. There's no just, okay, this is one side, this is another. That's a terrible way to run a place. We as people, we lack the understanding that we run those places. They don't run us. You know, we run those places. We need to stand up and do something about this. And I'm pretty sure we have the permission to do so, but there's so many scare tactics used and so much deflection and so much projection that we as the people feel too afraid to stand up for ourselves and say this is right and this is wrong and this is what we want and this is what we don't want. And not only that, when coming up with a solution, too many people are so emotional that they can't come up with something to agree on where everyone is happy. So emotional where they can't see that at the end of the day, we're all humans and we need to find something that's gonna work for the both of us, and we need to sacrifice and compromise on both ends. There's no, okay, this is the way that I want it and you can't have it this way. So like I said, these people who are wealthy and in power, and these people who are pedophiles, and these people who do these bad things, corrupt things, way worse than, just killing people and controlling big places and keeping certain groups of people down and monopolizing and all this shit. These people are at the top because we're allowing them to be there. And nobody remembers that. Nobody seems to want to realize that that's the way it is. It's like, let me call out just a random, I won't say a name, but like a streaming service upping their prices to the maximum, right? One thing they have to realize is that they have to keep the people watching their service happy. They have to keep adding shows. They have to lower the prices, things like that. Once a company like that gets too greedy, guess what? Somebody gets fed up. They make a company of themselves. It grows in popularity. Guess what? They get pressed. And then they try to say, hey, you're copying us. That doesn't end up working out. They fucking die. And then the new company comes up, and then the same cycle continues, which is quite funny how that works sometimes. But this is what I'm saying, like when it comes to greed, it's like you gotta control yourself. You have to make sure that everybody is happy. You as an individual watching this, everyone around you should be happy, as well as yourself. Don't forget that. You need to worry about yourself and the people around you. If it's you're the only one, you're alone, nobody's gonna do it for you, you're never gonna succeed in life like that, because humans need other humans to function. And me being somebody who's quite solituded, you haven't seen a single you haven't seen a single collaboration, because I like doing things by myself. It's simpler that way. But when I say I do these things by myself, nobody else is being affected by what I'm doing by myself. I'm not telling anyone you can and can't do this. Hell, go for it. Just leave me out of it. Let me do what I have to do. And then maybe one day we can work together to create something bigger. You can make decisions, you can have your way if it doesn't affect somebody else. But if somebody else is affected by what it is that you're doing, evil, immoral, good, and great, that's when there has to be some sort of agreement. There has to be some sort of conversation and talk, and things have to stop, things have to start. There has to be a common understanding for a moral ground, a fine line between right and wrong, right? There's a fine line between right and wrong. And when that line gets morphed and forced to bend because of money being weighed down on that line, making that fine line between right and wrong just wrong and wrong, that's when there's an issue. I just don't understand why we as people, we as humans, can't come together and set aside our small differences, because I mean, we, like I've said, we both have two legs, we have two eyes that see, we have a mouth that speaks to each other the same fucking language. The only difference is culture, and then in the future, culture is going to dissipate, of course, like I said, but that's in the very, very far future. If we want to advance, you can't be so stuck up on preserving your culture, because guess what? What's the point of that? When it comes to somebody saying, hey, we want only a population or society of people that look like us and act like us. What if people just did say yes? What if segregation became a thing again? Years go by. Years and years and years go by. Shit, a millennia goes by. Shit, a long ass time goes by. What's the end goal? It's to take over the fucking world, is it not? What's the point of that? It's to either become so advanced as a society that you move to a different planet, or to take over what's shared from via everyone. That's the whole thing. That's the only thing that could be like that's the only point of a population where other cultures and people who don't look like you aren't allowed. That's so stupid. That's the only point. That's the only thing I can come up with, because there's no reason. There's no other end sum to a society like that. It always ends in, we've ran out of space. Now we need to start taking the space of the people around us who we haven't bothered. Or it gets to a point where, you know, things don't go as planned, and then people start saying, hey, hell no, I don't want to be here. I want to experience the world, and they leave. One day, we're all going to see each other as one, hopefully. Unfortunately, I'm probably not going to be alive to see that, but it's either we all die or we all see each other as one. That's the only red versus blue thing I'm seeing with how the world is going. We either all die, we all kill each other, or we all one day eventually see each other as one and set aside our differences. That's it. I mean, am I wrong? Am I missing something so clear? My brain can't come up with anything else. Maybe this is my fine line of an IQ of intelligence. Maybe I need to think further. Maybe I haven't evolved to that level yet where I can comprehend something else that's clear, that's right in front of my face. But who knows? You know, went off and I've branched off into different sensitive topics and subjects within this video, but it all does still relate. I just really hope that people can actually, you know, adults out here can actually be an adult and start to grow up and understand this shit is not two teams. It's not laser tag. It's not who's safe and who's infected. People out here treating normal people like they're zombies instead of trying to understand or trying to change or trying to help. It's ignorance and it's shutting off. It's so stupid. Lord have mercy, bro. Put me on a different planet with some like fine alien bitches. I can't do it. I can't stay here. Life isn't fair, and a lot of people unfortunately are just not being educated in the correct ways, or they just haven't experienced proper diversity and proper time that's needed to really dig deep on certain topics and subjects and really use their mind and develop problem solving and complex thinking skills. It's sad, it's unfortunate, but you know, one day hopefully things turn good. It's obvious. I can't talk about it for too much longer. Last thing I'm gonna say is it's just so upsetting that, you know, as a kid, And this is something that helped me a lot as a kid. Watching a lot of Minecraft YouTubers get caught up because they couldn't control themselves and they start to prey on little kids. Minecraft YouTubers, and we all know that that's the funny thing. It's like people that play Minecrafters like to mine for miners. Minecrafters like to mine for miners. Thankfully, I play Minecraft because I enjoy the game and I enjoy the mods and I enjoy connecting with my community. And it's one of those chill games where you can, like, you know, I was thinking about starting a Stardew Valley channel. You know, I was thinking about streaming Stardew Valley, and that's what I plan on doing when Haunted Chocolatier comes out if I don't die. But, you know. Oof. Stay back. Yo, am I on hard mode? Why they actually killing me? I was thinking about that. It's just sad that a lot of these Minecraft YouTubers, because they've gained a lot from their audience, they decide that they're bored and they want to do something disgusting and terrible and immoral. Not everybody is like that, but some minds are just sick and twisted. And I don't know if it's because of their upbringing, if because they weren't taught correctly, or if it's because they just got bored. And like I said, one of the only things I can come up with where, you know, in the sick case where you try, because I'm someone that sees both sides of every story, even as disgusting as it may be, I try to really look into, like, why pedophiles do the bad things that they do. And that's the only thing I can come up with. And it's clear when it comes to wealthy people and people that have a lot of money, because shit, they've already done everything. That doesn't mean that you start doing sick and twisted and disgusting and evil things. At that point, I'd rather you just clock yourself out. I don't know if I can say that on YouTube, but you know what I'm saying? If it gets to that point, dude, don't start doing sick shit. You know, and with all of that being said, I was gonna try to see if I can beat the game or mine for diamonds or anything like that. I honestly want to hear your opinion on the things that I've talked about and the things that I've said within this video. I would like to hear everybody's opinion about it. What do you think is gonna end up happening with these Epstein files? How do you feel about pedophiles in general? And I really hope I don't see anyone in my comments, even though I've made some quite odd videos in the past, you know, with the gooner shit. But I mean, I guess that's just me expressing sexuality and the natural affinity for the opposite gender. Even though I respect women, and I've said that a million times, I respect women heavily. I see women the same as men because we're all human. There's no woman, apart from like childbirth, that can't do anything a man can do. And vice versa. There's no man that can't do anything a woman can do, apart from, like I said, reproductive childbirth. But both sides of each coin, we both need each other. This gender war, it needs to end as well. This is some immature, stupid shit. Why are men and women grouping each other into these things, into these places? Oh, all men do this. Oh, all women do this. It's just so silly. I can't wrap my head around just ignorance. And so instead of trying to force myself, because it's something I'm comfortable with, you know, it's the easy way out, because it's something that parents or peers or somebody might have told me around myself. And really listen to this. If you have racist friends, listen to this. Just because the people around me are telling me that's what's right and that's what's wrong, doesn't mean I'm supposed to just agree with them and go with what they say without doing research myself and coming up with my own conclusion and my own true feelings about a certain topic or subject. With all of that being said, let me know if you want to see me talk about more random shit while I just randomly play Minecraft, or if this video wasn't for you, if everything I said was just nonsense, and you know, I should just delete my channel now and cancel myself. I don't know. Sometimes I really feel like just randomly I might say something and people might misinterpret it. Let me know if you would like to see more, or you want to see less of this, and let me know your feelings, your overall feelings on how you feel like society is going as a whole, and how you think the world is going to look in the future. Or, you know, just put your thoughts in the comments. I'm very eager to read a lot of them, to see like what your mindsets are, you know, because you're my community, the community that I've built. And I can have a community that can take a joke, but then also at the same time understand that some things are just not to be joked about. And there's a fine line between right and wrong. Once again, I love you all. Thanks for watching. Take care. And I'll see you tomorrow for Christmas Eve, because a video comes out on Christmas Eve. Well, it's not really a video, but it's like a trailer. All right, I'll see you then. Goodbye.